All right, let's head back to the courthouse here behind me in Dedham, Massachusetts, where it was day 25 in the Karen Reed murder retrial, where they got heated in the court with the former Canton police officer, Kelly Dever. Earlier today, she was questioned about a meeting with the police commissioner during the initial investigation into Officer John O'Keefe's death. Let's watch.
Did you tell those law enforcement agents on August 9th, 2023, that you saw Brian Higgins and Chief Berkowitz go into the Sally Port together and alone with the SUV for a wildly long time?
That was my recollection at the time.
So you did say that?
At the time, that is what I recollected.
Okay. Ms. Dever, when we left off, I was asking you about the meeting at the commissioner's office. And I want to clear this up. Was General Legal Counsel in that office or not when you had a meeting with the commissioner, Michael Cox?
No, it was just me and the commissioner.
At some point, did the commissioner say to you that Boston Police Department, insofar as your connection to this case is concerned, Boston Police Department fully supports you?
Yes.
Did he also say, do the right thing?
That's a direct quote, so I can't recollect if he said a direct quote 2 years ago.
A year ago, when you talked to us, the defense, did you tell the defense that when you were called up to the commissioner's office, we told you two things? Commissioner Cox told you, number one, the Boston Police Department supports you, and Officer Dever, do the right thing.
So he said my name correctly. He said Dever, and
that's my mistake. Let's see. Like, you want me to repeat the question so I get
So,
right?
Mr. Jackson, let's go ahead and answer, please.
yes, and he said nothing with the intent of guiding me one way or the other.
What his intent was, madam. I asked you what he said to you. What were his words to you?
That he supports me.
And?
Just wanted me to tell the truth up here.
And his words were, do the right thing, correct?
I don't recall.
How many other times have you testified in a court of law during the course of your job?
2 dozen, 3 dozen.
And
Actually testified probably ballpark a dozen times.
in any of those other cases, has Commissioner Michael Cox called you up to his office to discuss your testimony in any of those cases? Yes or no?
That's not a yes or a no answer.
Well, yes, it actually is, Ms. Dever.
So no comments, okay? Just
You understand the question?
The question, yes. The implication,
The question is, in any of those, I'm asking you an open-ended question. In any of those cases, Officer Dever, not including this one, has Commissioner Michael Cox ordered you up to his office to discuss your testimony?
no.
Thank you.
Almost feels like a cross-examination, doesn't it? But that's on direct. Here to discuss is former prosecutor, criminal and civil defense attorney Randolph Rice. Now, Randolph, I really want to get your opinion on what we just saw, but first, I want to play what the defendant, Karen Reed, told us on the courthouse steps just a few minutes ago. Let's listen.
Karen, are you suggesting that Dever may have been coaxed into changing her testimony?
Yes. What's your reaction to her demeanor? I didn't suggest it. She did. And she was called into the commissioner's office. The story completely changed, and it was recanted. So I don't think it was a suggestion. I think I heard what you heard.
But wasn't she confronted with data from the FBI that said, no, you weren't, the car wasn't there by the time you left?
This is the first I've ever heard that. I have no knowledge of anything like that.
Did you expect her to be like that on the stand?
I've never seen, met, or heard her voice before, so I didn't know.
What's your response to her accusations of pressuring her to perjure herself?
We subpoenaed her to testify to what she told other authorities and just wanted her to be as honest with us as she was with them. And today she's now telling us that was a lie. So we just wanted her to repeat what she told other law enforcement agencies under penalty of perjury. That's all. Thank you.
The defendant in her own words right now. Now, Randolph, from the defense perspective, they're the ones that called her in the first place. Did they reach their goal with this witness putting her on the stand? Remember, their whole idea for this jury is conspiracy and cover-up.
Hey, Matt, I think they got more than they were looking for today. I think they were hoping or thinking she was going to come in there and talk about what happened to Sallyport, and all of a sudden she became, I would say, at least combative or elusive or trying not to answer questions. And that just played right into their theory that there's a cover-up, that they're trying to hide something.
Yeah, and how does it work in the courtroom? At what point is it either side, even if it's your witness, can you say that this is a hostile witness? How does that work?
Well, you've got to prove that she's not answering the questions and she's not presenting the evidence that you're trying to ask for. I don't think they got to that point today. She certainly was answering questions. It just took a little bit more to get her to say yes or no. You know, when you ask those yes/no questions and they give you some long explanation, and you have to really go back and say, we're asking a yes/no question. Yes or no, did you meet with the commissioner? And that's how you get that information out that ultimately shows that there's maybe a cover-up here.
Well, we're going to watch together and see how the prosecution handles this witness. Again, remember, we're in the defense case in chief. This was the third or fourth witness. So coming up, Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan cross-examines the officer about what she remembers and about allegedly being threatened with perjury charges by the defense in a phone call. More testimony in the Karen Reed murder retrial, live from the courthouse steps in Denham when we come back. Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Matt Johnson, coming to you live from Dedham, Massachusetts for special coverage of the Karen Reed murder retrial. Prosecutors say Reed hit her Boston police officer boyfriend, Officer John O'Keefe, with her SUV and left him to die in the cold. Her defense claims that she is being framed in a massive police cover-up. Court has ended for the day, so we are bringing you some of the biggest moments from today, day 25, including, did you see it? The former Canton police officer, Kelly Dever, who definitely didn't want to be a part of this trial in this courthouse here behind me. Let's take a look together of her cross.
It sounds like on January 29, 2022, at some point you were asked to attend the desk.
Yes.
The desk is at the front of the police department where you see people coming in and out of the police station?
Yes, there's glass windows.
That night, did you have any difficulty with your memory of the specific things that you saw that night?
I was never on the scene. I never spoke to a witness. I never met a victim. I never spoke with a suspect. This was just a random shift for me 3.5 years ago at a desk that I wasn't asked to recollect for about 1.5 years after the occurrences of that night.
Did law enforcement, not the state police or Canton police, did law enforcement ask you about your memory sometime after that night?
The agents asked me about 1.5 years later. It was the August of 2023 meeting. So actually 1 year and 8 months later was the first time I ever spoke about this case.
When they spoke to you 1 year and 8 months later, did you suggest or share or tell them that you might have seen Chief Berkowitz and Mr. Higgins near the Sallyport area?
I told them on the day of that I saw that. I didn't make any indications it was anything bad. I just said I saw them. And it was in good faith that I believed I saw that. That was the extent of that comment.
So you had told them you believed you saw Mr. Berkowitz and Mr. Higgins in the Sallyport area that day?
On January 29th during my day shift, yes.
Did you then learn any information that helped you remember when your shift ended that day?
So I know my shift ended at 3:45 p.m. So I know that I left then. That wasn't ever one of my questions. the defense released a timeline right prior to the first trial that the vehicle on that day did not arrive in the Sally Port until about an hour and a half after I left, meaning it is not possible that I saw that.
When you saw this information, did you think about your memory?
So when I saw that information, it made it clear to me that there was a distortion of the timeline, and the false memory I created, I provided in good faith, but I retracted immediately, being provided evidence that it was not possible.
Who did you retract it to? Who did you tell?
So I told the defense team prior to the first trial. I also contacted the agents. The agents assured me that good faith.
Objection.
Not what they said, but what you thought. Not what they said to you, but
Did they threaten to put you in jail when you told them about your mistake?
No, I even spoke with the legal team, and they said that I made a comment in good faith. There was absolutely no way that I could be charged with anything of being malicious.
Before we get to your conversation with the defense team, now I wasn't there in that conversation, was I?
No,
Have you ever shared that conversation with me?
I've never shared it with anyone.
Before we get to that, you seem a bit anxious. Are you anxious?
Confused as to why I'm here, but anxious now.
Are you, have you received any negative pushback because of you sharing your memory?
Objection.
I'm going to allow that.
No,
Have you received any unwarranted attention from the public or media?
not to my knowledge, but I didn't go digging to find it.
When you mentioned the media sent you something, what did they send you?
So I've seen things in the media. No media has ever been directed for me to find it. It's just this case is unavoidable as a local person on the internet who sees things that get shared.
So inevitably, you were contacted by the defense.
Yes, prior to the first trial.
You mentioned that somebody had suggested you be charged with perjury.
Yes,
Who did that?
one of the male members of the defense team.
Why did they say that to you?
Objection.
Sustained.
What were you discussing when you were threatened with perjury?
They were essentially telling me what they were looking for me to say on the stand.
What were they looking for you to say?
They were looking for me to say that I saw Higgins and Berkowitz in the garage with the car.
Did you share with them that that wasn't an accurate memory?
Yes,
How did they respond?
they became very aggressive, raised their voices, and the one word that I can very definitely remember is they said that they would charge me with perjury.
What did they want you to say?
They wanted me to say that statement, although I knew at that point it was not an accurate statement given the timeline.
How many times were you threatened with perjury?
At least once during the phone call, but once you say it once, it was enough.
What else happened during that phone call? Tell us the tenor of it. Tell us the content of it.
That was essentially the thing I remember most because I understood that was what they wanted me to provide for the trial. I was never called for the first trial. Therefore, I'm not exactly sure what else there is for me to say when the one thing that they wanted on the stand, it is factually not correct and cannot be provided.
When they threatened you to charge you with perjury, tell us what your state of mind was, your demeanor.
Disappointment that legal counsel would go that route with someone who is, from a factual timeline, saying something is incorrect. There was no retracting based on emotion. It was very clear, given the timeline, it could not be correct.
As you're testifying here today, are you under any tension, undue influence, stress, threat?
There is discomfort with the way that there's attempting to guide what my testimony is, but I don't feel any need to fall into it because I'm here to speak the truth on the stand. That's my livelihood.
When you were threatened with perjury, how long was that conversation with the defense?
I believe it was just about an hour on the phone. My phone log on my physical phone would not go back far enough for me to be able to retrieve the date or the time that that phone call took place.
That conversation lasted an hour?
Approximately.
How did it end?
Not on a good note in the slightest. I remember it was a pretty hasty hang up on both ends.
Coming up, the redirect and the recross of this very combative witness. This is Court TV Live, coming to you live from Dedham, Massachusetts. Your front row seat to justice.
Tonight on Closing Arguments, it's the battle of the experts in the retrial of Karen Reed. How is the defense case testimony stacking up against the Commonwealth's case?
Closing Arguments tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV. Join Court TV's Vinnie Politan with the latest and breaking true crime stories.
Now, let's look at the other side of all of that.
Vinnie Politan Investigates tonight, 9/8 Central, only on Court TV.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Matt Johnson, and our special continuing coverage of the Karen Reed murder retrial, where the defense is putting on their case in chief in the courthouse here behind me in Dedham, Massachusetts. Now, still on the stand from the testimony we are revisiting is former Canton police officer Kelly Dever.
A male voice on that phone call threatened to charge you with perjury.
Yes.
You're a police officer, correct?
Yes.
Who charges people with crimes?
If a crime is committed, there can be a report of it. So
Who charges people with crimes?
in the end, it's going to go through the court system. So the district attorney, the ADAs, that's who pursues it in a court setting.
Have you ever seen a defense attorney charge anybody with a crime?
So you can seek out reporting someone for it.
Have you ever seen a defense attorney charge someone with a crime, ma'am?
Personally, no.
Right. Fact of the matter is, nobody ever threatened you with perjury, did they?
Oh, they did. Yes.
That's
I contacted the FBI regarding it.
Oh, did you?
I did.
You have a report?
I have an email conversation where I sent the 2 questions I had. She responded, I will pass these along. I was contacted by their legal team. They reassured me perjury was not applicable because I made a statement in good faith. Upon further information, I retracted it, corrected it, and made it clear that I could no longer say it because I knew that it was not a clear reflection of the events that took place.
That's a mouthful.
Yes.
My question is, do you have a report from the FBI saying that you reported that someone on the Karen Reed defense team threatened to charge you, your words, with perjury? You have a report to that effect?
No.
No. Officer Dever, did you go on to say in that interview, quote, you never saw them leave, them being Brian Higgins and Chief Ken Berkowitz. You never saw them leave, but you recalled thinking to yourself that they were in the Sallyport for a wildly long time together in there, end quote. Did you say that?
That was my recollection of the time.
Okay.
So yes.
Have you ever heard of by the way, you indicated under questioning by Mr. Brennan that you knew what they wanted from me, meaning the defense, what they wanted from me.
Yes.
You understand that?
Yes.
Do you remember on that phone call that we read directly from the exact same report that I just read from? You remember that?
And I told you the same thing then.
That's not
yes.
my question.
Objection.
Sustained.
My question is, just answer my question, Officer Dever. Did we read to you, were you read the exact same thing that I just read to you on that phone call?
Like you can't remember my name, I don't remember.
I can remember your name, Miss Dever.
Okay, so the answer is I don't remember. No comments.
More than that, Judge. I think we all.
All right, so no comments, just questions, please.
Do you recall us telling you that we were looking for the truth about your
Objection.
comments?
I'm going to allow it.
That we were looking for the truth?
Which I gave you, yes.
Did you also say on that phone call something to the effect of, I know you're going to tear me a new one because I'm changing my testimony?
Changing, no. But you're trying to do that.
Did you say, I know you're going to tear me a new one?
That's what you're trying to do, so yes.
Actually, what you said was, you're going to tear me a new didn't you?
I don't recall that, so that's putting words in my mouth.
I'm not asking you to put words in your mouth. I'm asking you if you remember saying that during that phone call. Oh, I know you're going to tear me a new.
I don't recall.
Okay. But you do remember saying something to the effect of, I know you're going to tear me a new one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever heard of something called the blue wall of silence? Objection.
Sustained.
Do you think it's important for police officers to protect one another in the field and out?
Objection.
Sustained.